Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Carolyn and I am a personal trainer and I make a lot of content on the internet about body acceptance, body image, health at every size, and a weight inclusive, weight neutral approach to fitness and wellness. So it's been about a year since I've made a video, and a part of that break was planned, and the rest of that break is due to the global pandemic that kind of threw a wrench in a bunch of my plans, as it has for us all. But I am here a year after making my last video. And before I jump into today's topic, I just want to say thank you to everyone who has followed me since then. There's a lot more of you here now than there were a year ago. And even though I haven't been making any content, it is just so wonderful to see that stuff that I have made in the past is still resonating and giving value to people and helping people. So if you're one of those who is expecting to never see me in your inbox again, here I am. Thanks for having me. So today I want to talk about why I quit personal training. So I know that the title of this video is a little bit clickbaity. I know I just introduced myself as a personal trainer. And if you know me, either from the internet or from my real life, you know that I do currently work as a personal trainer. I've got my own personal training practice that these days is all online over video chat. So, yes, I am still a personal trainer, but today I want to talk about why I quit my last corporate personal training job right before I went solo with my own personal training business. So this is something that I've talked a little bit about on Instagram, but I haven't really told this story recently, and I think it's interesting. And the further I get from this last job, this last experience working for someone else as a personal trainer, the more I learn on reflection. So I'm going to share it now from my current perspective, 4 years out from when I was working there. So basically, I worked for a company that I am not going to name because I think that in a lot of ways they are a very good gym. Just employment wise, it was not a good fit for me. And the lessons that I learned from working for them are not necessarily specific to that company and apply to most mainstream fitness brands and big box gym franchises out there. So I'm going to stay vague about what gym it was, but I can tell you that it was just a gym in New England that I worked at for a few months before moving to Florida, where I live and work now. So I was only at this job for about 6 months, and that is because I knew I was going to move. But I took this job excited and fully planning that after I left this one, that I would just, after I moved, probably work for a similar type of company, a similar type of gym. Once I moved down to Florida, this brand didn't have any, or this gym didn't have any locations in Florida, so I knew I would have to work for someone different. But going into the job, I thought it was going to be great. The orientation was awesome. I'd already been working as a personal trainer in my college fitness center for 2 years at that point. So I already knew that I loved training, and I was just really excited for the opportunity to do it full time and really start my career in the fitness business. And in a lot of ways, the job was really great. I loved my clients so much. I know some of my former clients from that job may even be watching this video because I know some of you still follow me on Instagram and Twitter and the like. But literally every single person that I trained, every single person that I worked with, that I taught in one of the group coaching classes was amazing. Everyone was wonderful, so just hardworking and eager to learn, and I loved working with them. I also did learn a lot of valuable lessons working more in close quarters with other personal trainers for the first time. And my last job, there was only a handful of us working at the university campus gym, and we didn't really interact with each other because we all only had a handful of clients, a couple a day, and we wouldn't really overlap that much. But working at this job, I was on shift with at least 6 or 7 other trainers the whole time, and we would, in between clients, go behind the personal training desk, share stories, share advice. And a couple of them really did take me under their wing and teach me the ropes of working at this particular gym. And I learned a lot about fitness and about programming and about working with different types of clients. And it was awesome. So I learned some really valuable lessons on the positive side from that job, from the people that I trained and the people that I worked with that have just been invaluable to me and that I am so grateful for. And I also learned some very valuable lessons from my negative experiences at this job. So that's what I'm going to go into now. I'm going to tell you about just a few of the things, kind of the most prevalent, important things that were the main reasons why I decided I would probably never work for a big box gym again, barring very huge shifts in the industry at large, and why I decided to, at 22 years old, take the jump into entrepreneurship and starting my own personal training gig. So the first thing that happened at this job was that I was going through my own personal body image journey while I was employed at this gym. So it had started back in college. My last year or so of college was kind of the height of my body image issues. It's when I was starting to look for solutions to that and starting to, in a personal way, get into kind of the self-help world of body image. Instagram was around at that time. This was back in like 2015 that I was in college dealing with that. And then in 2016, when I started at this job, and for the second half of 2016, that was when I worked there, like May through December, I was going through a period of rapid personal growth and development when it came to my own body image and what I believed about health and fitness. So that was really the start of when I was introduced to body positivity, when I personally was diving more into the concepts of intuitive eating, and when I first learned about things like health at every size and the ways that our mainstream understanding of health and of weight science is flawed. And as I was learning these things, I was seeing how my old beliefs, a lot of the beliefs that I knew had been hurting me, I was seeing them show up in my job in really unquestioned ways, in ways that everyone around me seemed to assume were just normal and good. And there was a lot of pressure on me in the beginning to just go with the flow, learn the ropes of the job. And that was fine for a little while. But by the end of my 6 months at that job, and I would say even by the end of my third month there, I was already very disillusioned with a lot of the things that I needed to do day to day while I was on the job. So first thing would be when it comes to bringing on new clients. So at this big box gym, probably if you've ever been to a big box gym, been a member at one, you've probably experienced this, that when you sign up for your membership, you are also offered a free personal training session. It's not a personal training session. It is a sales pitch where you will meet with a personal trainer. They will ask you a bunch of questions, probably weigh and measure you in a couple of ways, and then put you through a fitness assessment, and then link up with a sales associate to try to sell you on a training package. And I don't have a problem with this like method of sales at all, because I don't know, people would say no if they didn't want to do it or if they couldn't afford it or whatever. But I think the way that the onboarding process works in a lot of gyms, or at least in my experience at this gym, was pretty toxic and shame-based and misleading. So one of the things that was on our like intake form with the client, the PAR-Q, physical activity readiness questionnaire, which is really just supposed to gauge someone's like readiness to engage in exercise. So finding out a little bit about their health history, if they have any conditions that they would need a doctor's to sign off on to give them permission to exercise, finding out about any injuries past and present that may influence their ability to do certain movements. That's all a normal part of the PAR-Q process, and that's great. But another thing that's a part of the PAR-Q process for the majority of gyms and personal trainers is body measurements, which makes sense because the fitness industry is extremely entangled with diet culture. And weight loss is a primary goal for a lot of people, a majority of people who are seeking out personal training. And so at my job, I was supposed to go into these initial sessions, these initial sales pitches with potential clients with the assumption that they were either trying to lose weight, or if they weren't specifically trying to lose weight, they were trying to look better in some way. They were trying to alter the appearance of their body in a way that was measurable with like body fat percentage or weight or BMI or something of the sort. And it was required of me by my boss to put something numerical down in the what are your goals category. Someone just saying, I want to get some stronger. Someone saying, I had to take 3 months off of exercise from an injury and I'm really nervous about getting injured again. I want to learn how to work out safely this time. Those were not acceptable goals. Or even if they were acceptable, they weren't enough because our sales process really predicated on showing them this computer program that would tell them how much they were supposed to eat, and based on their like body and weight goals, point them to the training package that was right for them. It was all made up. It was all made up, and I could see through it from the very beginning because it didn't match up with what I knew was true about fitness, which is that weight wasn't everything. Weight loss isn't even a very common outcome of fitness programs. Like I was working with people before this for weight loss, but I it it was never very successful because I wasn't willing to put people on dangerous workout programs or crash diets. And so, the methods that do lead to short term weight loss, I wasn't willing to make clients engage in that, and so they didn't lose weight. But we always focused on other things, getting stronger, performance related goals, consistency, yada, yada. The same things that I work on now that are not weight related. But at this job, we had to focus on weight. Which brings me to the next thing that I really hated about this job. And this is something that they did twice a year. I only had to participate in it one time, thankfully. And I mean, it was just a horrible experience for me and the people that I saw go through it. Well, some of them had a good experience, but it was a weight loss challenge. Twice a year, this gym put on a weight loss challenge where we would get people to sign up on our team as the trainers. We would be the team leaders, and we were basically expected to just do a bunch of work outside of our workday, outside of our like on hours that we weren't getting paid any extra for. But it was all tied in with like a bonus structure around supplements that I'm going to get into next. So basically, this weight loss challenge encouraged some of the most disordered behaviors I have ever seen. The man who won the year that I was there was participating in at least 3 workouts, at least 6 days a week for the month of the program. And the reason he won is because he lost the greatest percentage of his body weight. So basically, it's the most weight you can lose in the shortest amount of time is going to like, it was, the prize was like some money, or and like also like gift cards to the supplement brand, and maybe like a free like year of membership or something. Like it was some good prizes, but in order to win, you had to be the most extreme. And that was tough. That was really tough to see because the people who were on my team, which I had the smallest team because I already knew I was leaving this job and I wanted to hurt the fewest number of people possible. The people who were on my team were not on it because they wanted to win or because they thought they were going to win. They were doing it as like an accountability measure for goals that they were already working on. So I was able at that point, knowing what I knew and already shifting into a more weight neutral approach to fitness, I was able to kind of mitigate the harm and have them not participate in some of the more extreme behaviors, but it was still disordered. Everything about it was still disordered. It was still, over exercising, restricting your food intake, becoming really obsessive about everything that you did and everything that you ate for a full month. And it was awful. And after participating in it as a leader in that kind of challenge, I was like, I can never do this again. And I vowed to myself, and I am keeping this till today, that if I ever work for a fitness company that introduces a weight loss challenge, that I would no longer continue working for that company, because I just cannot endorse it. I cannot endorse it. It is so harmful in so many ways. So, as I mentioned, one of the other facets of this weight loss challenge that was actually a huge part of my job there from start to finish was the supplements. So, the gym that I worked at had like a contract or a partnership with this one supplement company that, again, I'm also not going to name um, because it's not necessary, but they were not very good supplements as far as I am concerned. I didn't take any of them. But a huge part of my job was to sell as many supplements as possible. And when I was hired, I was told that this was only going to be a small portion of my job, that basically, like, there was like a percentage, like, let's say I was bringing in $1,000 worth of profit to the company in personal training. Not that I was making $1,000, but that the company was making $1,000 off of my work. If I was bringing $1,000 in a month, then I had an obligation to meet a quota of 10% of that. So that would have been $100 of supplements, which these were fairly expensive supplements. And so at that level, that like 10%, or maybe it was 20% or something, either way, it wasn't very high. And so when I took the job, I was like, I don't love this. I don't love sales, but this shouldn't be that hard, because people love protein powder, people love multivitamins. Like, I'm sure there's some pretty benign substances that's not what I meant to say, supplements in this line that I can sell to people in an honest way. Someone who's just looking for a protein powder, I say, hey, this is the one that we sell, and buying it through us gets you a little discount or something like that. I didn't think it would be that hard to do $100, and I was right. If it had just been $100, that wouldn't have been that bad, and it probably wouldn't have become much of a problem. But it just so happened with the timing that the very month that I got employed at this particular gym of this company, they sent someone from corporate. He was a trainer who had been working with the company for many years and was very good at sales. He was starting his rounds where he was going to spend 6 months at each gym in at least this region of the country to mentor the trainers on like how to sell supplements. And with this came astronomically high quotas, where I thought I was going to only have to sell as many supplements as, corresponded with 10% of like the number of clients I had, which, it was my first month. I only had a handful of clients. It takes time to build up your book. All of a sudden, I was now on the hook for selling like $700, $800, $900 of supplements every month. And every time I didn't meet that quota, my job was threatened. I was being threatened with getting fired. It was like, if you don't meet your quota for 3 months in a row, you don't get to keep your job. And these were not the pretenses that I took this job under. This was a whole different job. All of a sudden now I was trying to be a personal trainer, but my number one priority was being a supplement salesperson. Hell no. I was not okay with this. And if I didn't already have kind of like an escape plan where I knew that in like 4 to 5 months I was going to be moving to a different state, completely like starting over, I probably would have quit right then and there and found another job at a gym that didn't prioritize supplements as much. It was awful. I didn't want to be a salesperson. I wanted to be a personal trainer. And being a personal trainer means that you do have to sell your services. That's just kind of a part of it, because you can't train clients unless you sell your services to them. And that I was okay with, because I wanted to be training people. I was okay with selling a service I believed in. But this was a product that I didn't use. I didn't like the energy or the structure of the company. Like it felt kind of multi-level marketing a little bit to me. I don't know. It just gave me bad vibes from top to bottom, and I wanted as little to do with it as possible. So I I mean, I feel really bad about some of the things that I did to get people to buy supplements, but it's because at that point, I was right out of college. I didn't have as much of a perspective about the bigger picture of my life. And I really just felt like I needed to stay at this job for 3 or 4 months. Otherwise, like, I don't know, something bad was going to happen. So I did what I had to do to stay employed there until I knew I could leave. Um, and yeah, it was really bad. So I just want to say to you, if you're a personal trainer, I would recommend not taking a job with a company that is obsessed with supplement sales because it takes away from your ability to train people. You end up dedicating like 10, 15 minutes out of every session to trying to get them to buy supplements. It really becomes the focus of your job. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I lost a piece of my soul doing that. Yeah, so the supplements was another huge reason why I quit that job and really put me off from working in the mainstream fitness industry in general. Um, and yeah, I mean, those are kind of the main three. But then the last thing I just want to say was that it was besides the specific, pressure to get people to make weight loss goals, besides the weight loss challenges, besides these supplements, some of which included like fat burners and stuff, I just really, really got really sick of the overall culture of dieting and obsession with aesthetics. It seemed like every single person I worked with, whether they were a personal trainer or in management or front desk or sales or member services or whatever, it seemed like every single person I worked with either used to be a bodybuilder, was currently prepping for a bodybuilding competition, was on a break between two bodybuilding competitions, or was planning on starting prep for their first one. I was surrounded by freaking Tupperware containers full of chicken and rice and sriracha, and people guzzling Bang energy drinks, and people taking their lunch break to go do 30 minutes on the Stairmaster. And I just kind of accepted it as normal at first. Like, okay, I guess this is sort of just what the fitness industry looks like outside of like a college campus. But I absolutely hated it. And by the end of my time there, I was like, honestly, if the fitness industry is synonymous with bodybuilding, I really don't want to be a part of it. But luckily, at that point, I had found enough community online in, especially on Instagram, in kind of the like body positive fitness space and like the eating disorder recovery space and this general like anti diet culture movement that was really starting to grow in this was late 2016 early 2017 that I didn't feel like I had to give up fitness as a career entirely. I just knew that being a part of the mainstream fitness industry as it was at the time was not going to work for me. It wasn't conducive with the way that I wanted to serve people, with the way I wanted to help people, and with the way I knew fitness could be and could be so positive, because what I was seeing was so negative. It was so negative, even for people who thought that it was positive at the time, who thought they were making a healthy change or thought they were doing something that was empowering for them. I know now, even just hearing from some of them, that they have like moved away from bodybuilding or moved away from dieting because they were lying to themselves and because diet culture was lying to them about what they could and what they thought they were gaining from it. So I was really, by the end of my time there, I was seeing through a lot of the diet culture lies. I was having a hard time reconciling what my job had to be with what my beliefs and my values were. And I knew it was time to quit. I knew it was time to quit. And what I mean by quit is quit the traditional fitness industry as it was at the time and create my own pocket of the fitness industry that I could nurture and grow and turn into something that I really believed in and that I really, really loved. And so I made that transition 4 years ago now, a little over 4 years ago. I'm having trouble doing the time math in my head, but I quit that job in December of 2016 and right before the holidays, so I could just spend the holidays with my family before I moved in January. And in January, I moved down here into Florida. I got a part-time job at a juice bar just to make some money while I figured out how to start a business. And now I work for myself full time. I've got my whole book of clients that, I mean, I train them all online now, but my whole book of clients that don't have weight loss goals, that don't have fat loss goals, or even if they do, that's not what I'm working on them with. I train people with a history of disordered eating or eating disorders who are looking for a safe place to relearn how to engage in fitness in a way that is safe for their mental and their physical health. I work with all kinds of people. I work with people who are brand new to fitness, who want to engage with it from the start, from a place of body acceptance and self care. And I feel like I've just got such a beautiful thing going on now. And it has been a hard journey. There's definitely been struggles, and I definitely still don't have it all figured out. I'm not naturally a very adept business person, so it takes a lot of effort and learning and making mistakes and learning from them. But I get to train people the way that I want to. I have found an amazing community of people online who believe, just like I do, that the fitness industry can and should do better for the people that it wants to serve and claims to serve. And I don't have to sell any goddamn supplements anymore. So, yay for that. All right. So, I just wanted to tell that story because I do sometimes get people asking me, like, why I decided to go the entrepreneur route, why I don't engage in weight loss related services. And, you know, quitting that job ultimately became a part of my reason for wanting to move to a different state, kind of like start a new life in general. And I get people, a lot of people ask me like why I moved to Florida in the first place. So it's all wrapped up together. And in the end, it is a story of success and joy and gratitude. But it came from a heart. I can't even believe it was only 6 months that I was there. It seriously felt like a decade. It was so hard every day, but I learned so many lessons. And if you are a personal trainer who is feeling some of the same like struggles and cognitive dissonance that I was, look into what your other options are. You don't need to work at a job that sucks your soul. You don't need to work at a job that is completely unaligned with your values and threatens to fire you if you don't go against your values and do things that you find extremely unethical. So the fitness industry is growing and changing a lot. I know it has changed a lot, even just in these 4 years since I was working in the mainstream part of it. But yeah, there are other options for you out there. Maybe don't quit your job tomorrow if it's, you know, what's keeping food on the table, but you can find something better, whether it's at that company or somewhere else or on your own. And if you are a consumer in the fitness industry, just know that you do not have to listen to trainers or fitness professionals that say things that make you feel bad, that make you go, I don't know about that for me, or, ooh, that makes me feel bad about myself. They are not trying to do that, but either they are just still so in diet culture themselves, or they are dealing with something like what I was, where they feel trapped in having to provide a certain type of fitness service, even though they know it is not the right thing to be doing. So just know that fitness professionals don't know everything. They definitely don't know everything about your body, and you are always allowed to decide what is best for you. You don't have to spend money on any supplements you don't want. You don't have to sign up for any weight loss challenge that feels like it would be bad, and you don't have to make any goals about the way that you look or the size of your body or any goals that come from a place of shame or induce a feeling of shame, because those are all things that we should be moving away from and not towards in the fitness world at large. So, yeah, that's my story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have questions, comment below. I am happy to answer. I say this every single time right before I take another long break. I hope I continue to make content a little more regularly. We'll see. Even if I don't, places where I do post regularly on the internet would be Instagram at Carolyn Vig, Twitter at Carolyn_Vig, and I also have a TikTok that I post on usually about once a week. I am definitely a more active consumer on that app than a creator, but I'm on there too, so you can follow me there. And yeah, everything I post is all related to body acceptance, oh, body acceptance, weight neutral approach to fitness. And yeah, I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.